What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, this 498 is going back together and in the car. Let's go. All right, guys, check it out. 498 is going back together. I went ahead and pulled the head studs and just kind of cleaned up the maintenance surface with the nylon. The reason I do that is to give the gasket a good seal. You want to make sure that this thing is completely clean. And I use the nylon because it's softer than the parent metal, which is this big cast iron steel boy here. So we got to do the other side, put the head studs back on, grab the heads, throw them on the motor. It'd be as quick as... I thought I was going to fast forward that much. No. Anyway, we got the head studs sitting back in there, and we're just going to run them on in with the impact. Not going to put no torque on them, just run them in. Oh no, I dropped it. Now, I didn't cover this in the last video, but we're going to cover it here now. We're going to talk about why the head gasket failed. Now, I always run chromatic gaskets, boosted anything. It's an MLS gasket. The reason it failed is I coated the gasket with the copper coat, which works great. Chromatic tells you not to do it, but it seals. The problem lies when I had a very bad valley pan leak. I had to get the valley pan off. So we kind of had to loosen the head and pull the heads up a little bit to reposition the valley plate. That's 100% in my head is what broke the seal, and it never sealed back up. We actually done that at the track, and that's when we started having water problems, and we thought it was just the way my setup was, but it was actually putting pressure in the water system. So my fault. Won't do it again. We're going to follow Codemedic's instructions. We're not going to coat them. Just in case the heads do have to come back off, they can be reused and it doesn't pull off the black liner that's on the gaskets. So I'm going to run these head studs in, take off the other side, clean that one up, put the heads on. Alright, so just got the passenger head cleaned up. And if you look right here, you can see right where the water was running in, and that's why that valve looks so much cleaner than that valve or that valve. This one don't look too bad either, but I kind of did hit that with the wheel, but she looks good. I think it's going to work now. I think what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and lay the valley pan on and get it situated. I'm just using my diaper here. The mat was soaked because, you know, oil leaks, but we'll replace the mat. But get this all cleaned up and get that valley pan on, get the other one cleaned up, and we got a little bit more work to do to these before they go back on, but should go pretty quick. All right, so I got the head cleaned up. Last thing we got to do is we got to take a little sanding wheel and go into the push rod guides and just kind of clean them up a little bit. A few of them was rubbing, so we'll just go in there. We ain't trying to take a whole bunch off. We're just trying to clean it up to where it don't rub no more, and they'll be ready to go on the head or on the motor. All right, so got it all cleaned up. I think this is pretty much dry at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and bust up on one of these Comedics and throw it on there. All right, you know what time it is. We got a, I don't even think we got a Comedic up there. Let's add one. Woo! Right up there next to the Punisher Le Mans. It's crooked, but it's alright. Ain't gonna lie to you, it feels kind of wrong not saucing it up, but that's their instructions. So, woo! Got this girl on there, on the head, and then we get clean up the next one. Yep. Alright, so it's seated, hit it with the dead blow. It's good. I'm gonna wait till both are down so I can bolt both of them down together. So run through the torque sequence once. Let's go ahead and clean up that other head and throw it on. Alright, so the heads are on. Ran down the bolts with the impact. Now I'm going to torque them in and out. You know, start from the center, boom, 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 you know, so on and so forth. And then I go 35, 55, and 85. 85 is going to be our final torque. So go ahead and get these things torqued down. And then we got to clean up all this old RTV here and reseal it. And the heads will be good. And then we can start assembling the rockers and push rods and all that good jazz. So let's get them torqued. All right, heads are fully torqued. Everything's back on, thank goodness. So our last step to do up here is to just run a bead of silicone all through there. I also got to dig out some of this old silicone. I probably should have did it while the heads are off, but I didn't. So we'll do that, and while that dries, we'll start dropping in push rods and start putting on the rockers. So in my last video, I had a slew of comments. And it was like, hey, you know, take the bolts off the rockers, you know, evenly. Yeah, that's true. You should. If you guys haven't noticed, like, the rings in this thing were done with a grinder. Okay, well, it got most of the way, and then I hit it with the thing. It's just, I like to work proficiently, and it can bend the rocker shafts. And then, She's Holt J said, man, you better put some rocker studs on that thing. And I was in there, man, these Harlan Sharps right here, my dad bought them in the 80s. They've been in this car or in the Satellite ever since. About 4 years ago, we did send them off. Had new bearings put in them. I don't think they're the needle bearings anymore. I would check, but they're already on. Except the entire side, good to go. It's all torqued down, good to go. Torqued, started here, went there, went there, went there. Very last bolt. Yeah, just 25 foot-pounds. It was going too smooth. Too smooth. That's what happens. Like, everything cleaned up. I had all my head bolts and washers still together. Like, push rods went smooth in. Rockers were going on so smooth. Well, if you got rockers with these stupid springs, I hate these things. But it's a pain to put on. But once you get them on, I like it. And then the very last bolt, I go to torque down, brakes. It's deep up in there too. I don't have any extractors. Looks like we're pushing this thing to the side for the night. Because Dad has extractors, but Dad's at a funeral in Union City. Which is like 2.5 hours away. So, alright. I guess we'll pick back up tomorrow or tonight if he decides to, whenever he gets back, to bring it to me. But, excuse me, a little hiccup there. Woo! Get the extractor out, slap a new bolt in it. I'm leaving I ain't touching the other bolts. I'm leaving them. Alright, pick back up whenever we can get it out. Alright, it's the next day. Dad came over, brought the extractors. We got it out. Got the rockers on, went ahead and set the lash, set them 15 cold. Should be 18-ish hot. That's right what Bullet asked for, so up next, I guess we got valve covers and headers, and then we set it on the ground, throw on our adapter, the flex plate, throw the converter in the trans, marry the trans and the motor in the car. So, ain't got nothing better to do. Let's get it. Alright, so lots happened. Headers are on, valve covers are on. Put the mid plate back on, the flex plate, starter, put the converter in, and now we just got to marry the two. To be wed. Marry the two to be wed. And then once we get that, throw it in the hole, and that's going to be it for today. I just want to get it bolted in there, get the cross member bolts, the mid plate bolts, and the engine plate, and then we can get the rest of it later. So, I guess ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's go. Alright, well, I've been scraping off the old oil pan gasket. Ew, look up her skirt. See, everything looks beautiful. This is a bolt that we broke on. I don't know if I ever told you guys. We're going to have to, while I got this off, I'm going to go, probably just going to weld a nut to that and then break that guy loose. But I'm finished scraping off all this old gasket. Sorry. Finished scraping off all this old gasket. And then put the oil pan on it, and then we're going to be done for the day. I think that's where we're at right now. So let me get this done and we'll go there. Alright, so the motor is back in the thing. Now, just the intake's sitting up there so nothing gets in the ports, and the oil pan is just held on by 2 bolts. So let me put the gasket on it. I have a stud. I think I showed y'all. I need to get the stud out. I ain't gonna do it today. That's like a Sunday problem. So, things back together-ish. The motor's in the car. So, about another 4 hours worth of work. She'll be running. But that's going to do it for me today. I'm going to the racetrack. Go help some buddies. See you on the next one. Peace.